Hello all, Aaron here, and today I've got an e-bike review for you. So here it is then, this is the PVY Z20 PLUS e-bike. It's the 1000 watt motor edition, although it is limited and restricted to 250 because of the UK laws. And if you don't know about the UK laws, we'll get on that in just a second. Here it is already built, but obviously when it turns up, it is in the box that you saw there at the beginning. So let's have a quick look at what was in the box and a quick time lapse of me building it. Okay, so it has arrived, and I've watched reviews on this bike to look out, how easy it is to put the bike together and everything else. I never realised just how big the box was. And by the way, as a top tip for you, have something handy to help you open the box, because yes, it is stapled, but not only is it stapled, it's also glued down, which is good because you want it to be secure. But the thing is, opening that was was an absolute nightmare. That was tricky. I wrestled with that. Right, here it is. Right, let's do a quick time lapse, and I'll leave you with voiceover Aaron to fill you in. According to the UK government website, you can ride an electric bike if you're 14 or over, as long as it meets certain requirements. These electric bikes are known as electrically assisted pedal cycles, EAPCs. You do not need a license to ride one, and it does not need to be registered, taxed or insured. Now, what counts as an EAPC? An EAPC must have pedals that can be used to propel it. It must show either the power output, the manufacturer of the motor. It must also show either the battery's voltage, the maximum speed of the bike. Its electric motor must have a maximum power output of 250 watts. Should not be able to propel the bike when it's travelling more than 15.5 miles per hour. An EAPC can have more than two wheels, for example, a tricycle. If a bike meets the EAPC requirements, it's classed as a normal pedal bike. This means it can ride on cycle paths and anywhere else pedal bikes are allowed. An electric bike that does not meet the EAPC rules is classed as a motorcycle or moped and needs to be registered and taxed. You'll need a driving license to ride one, and you must wear a crash helmet. So there it is, all completed. And in the box, as well as getting the tools that you need to put the bike together and everything else that you need, the charger and even a phone holder, a light for the front, the other bits, as well as all that, I've got a throttle. Now, I have seen some of these bikes go out with the throttle already attached. But obviously, as we know, we've just been through, or rather voiceover Aaron has just been through the legalities of having a throttle on your e-bike. But I've seen it shipped with a throttle attached. So what do I do? Do I put it on the bike? Or do I leave it off? I don't feel as though I can give a fair review on this bike without actually having this attached. So I feel as though I really do need to put it on. I don't have to use it. I can always disable it in the menu. But I can't give an honest review without putting it on. Okay, so the throttle has been attached, as you can see there, but let me just turn it on. There we go. So it is attached, but it doesn't actually do anything. Even lifting up the back wheel and going at the throttle, it is attached, it is connected, but it does nothing. Absolutely nothing. So there we go. So we're still compliant. So there we go. So as you've seen, the throttle has been fitted, but obviously this is still limited. There is a way that you can unlock it, and later on in the video we'll be doing that. What can I say about the bike at the moment? It's a lovely looking bike. Nice chunky tyres on it. It's got a little sticker on here that says that it is 250 watt, 48 volt. It can take a payload of 150 kilograms, and It weighs 29.5 kilograms itself, which is quite a heft. You know, it's not unmanageable, but it is quite a heft. It also folds up and fits in the boot of your car. I'll be showing you that a little bit later on as well. First of all, why don't we, before we talk about the specs and everything else of the bike, why don't we take it out for a spin and see how it performs? Let's do that. Okay, so here we are. Look, got a little computer down here. We've got miles per hour. I'll show you in the menu how you can change that from kilometers to miles per hour. Down here at the bottom, you got your miles. You can scan through. Gives you the miles you've done on this particular journey. How long you've been on the bike since you turned it on. The volume of your battery, the volt of your battery, sorry, you've got 46.7 volts left in this 48 volt battery. Not sure about that one. And there we go. So we're back on. So this is the overall amount of distance we've done on it so far, 3 miles. So we'll start off in pedal assist 0. Just see what the bike is like as a bike. Well, it's all right. It's not too bad. I tell you what, it's a nice comfy ride. It's a nice upright sitting position, which is what I like. I'm not a fan of mountain bikes or races where you're sat on the scrawny little saddle and you're leaning forward into the wind. I prefer to be sat upright. For me, it's a more comfortable ride, easier on my back, easier on my knees if I'm able to sit up like this and just relax and lean back a little bit, which is why I was always one of the guys that rode a chopper when I was younger. I like the sitting position of the chopper. Okay, so as a bike, it's actually not that bad. If you were to be out on this on your way back from work or wherever, and the battery died on you, yes, you could cycle it. Fairly easy. You wouldn't want to necessarily because you bought an e-bike, but you could. Right. So let's now knock it up into pedal assist 1. Okay. That's barely registering. That's barely registered anything there. You don't really feel as though it's helping. So let's knock it up into 2. There we go. Now 2 is better. 2 feels a lot better. But pedal assist 3 is a massive jump. I mean, the jump from pedal assist 1 to 2 is quite a subtle one. You start to feel the power. As you knock it into 3, oh, there you go. And because these bikes are fitted with cadence sensors rather than torque sensors, you have to keep pedaling to get the power. But the thing is, you don't have to put a lot of pressure. It's like now I'm ghost pedaling. Yeah, I am barely pedaling, but because the cadence sensor is picking up me pedaling, it's giving me the power. Although I'm doing almost nothing with my legs. Almost nothing. And yet, there's the power. That is fantastic. Oh, if I'd have had this 10 years ago. Oh, dear. So now you may be thinking, well, who is this bike for? Who's it aimed at? Who'll get the most use out of it? Well, someone like me is perfect. I'm not blowing my own trumpet there, but I'm a perfect candidate for this bike. I don't drive. I don't have a license. But with this bike, as long as it's street legal, you don't need one. Now, in one of my old jobs, I used to have to cycle 5 miles there and 5 miles back. And once you've done 8 hours work, cycling another 5 miles, it's not much fun. A 10-mile round trip. And when I wasn't doing that, I was jumping on the train. And the train was £2.5 quid. And if I couldn't afford the train, and I didn't fancy jumping on my bike, I get the bus. Because the bus was £2 there, £2 back. £4 a day. Now, if you're doing that every day, £4 a day, for a week, it's 20 quid. 20 quid. It might cost more in petrol, I don't know. But 20 quid. And how much does it cost to charge this bike, or rather the battery? Well, for 6 hours, it's 30p. 30p. So for a week's travel to work, minus the outlay of buying the bike, obviously, but for a week's travel to work and back, 30p. Because this bike obviously can do what? 70 kilometers, 120 if it's pedal assist. And if it's pedal assist 2, like I'm in now, which is ample, it's ideal, we're getting there, we're doing 10 mile an hour, it's little to no effort. If you're going to and from work in pedal assist 2 for a week, that battery will last you there and back all week. It's cost you 30p. Whereas on the bus, 20 quid. That means this bike is 66.6 times cheaper. 66.6 times cheaper. Now, not only that though, not only have you got that as a cost saver, but I can use this on my days off. I can use it getting to and from the beach. Whereas a walk to the beach to do my metal detecting videos, which are normally on this channel, I used to have to get up really early in the morning and walk down there. Yeah? A half-hour walk would have taken me half-hour walk, must have recognised me, a half-hour walk to the beach, or 5 minutes on this bike. And that's the beauty of it. You can even use this on the beach, on the wet sand, because of the big fat tyres. And that's not all. You can even use it on your permissions. If you're a metal detectorist, because of the size of these tyres, 20 inch, 4 inches fat. Oh yeah. You could use this on your permission. Let me speed up, get through here. You could use this on your permission. Getting through the fields. You park your car on the farmer's farmyard or at one of the gates. But the field you want to get to is a couple of fields away. Piece of cake, you jump on this. You take it out your boot, you unfold it, you jump on it, and away you go. The fat tyres won't let you down on that grass. You will fly through those fields on these fat tyres like you wouldn't believe.
I am looking at doing an off-road video on this across a few fields. So stay tuned for that. That should be fun. So this bike does boast a 1,000-watt motor. However, in the settings, it is limited to 250 watts. Because obviously that's all you're allowed on UK roads. Same as a throttle. You're not allowed to have a throttle on the UK roads. The only reason I've fitted this one is so that I can review it. But oh my God, this is lovely. This really is nice. The seat is comfy. The suspension is doing a grand job of getting rid of those bumps. It is just so good. It is so good. Now remember, as fun as it is unlocking the bike and knocking the speed right up and unlocking the throttle, as fun as it is, you got to remember it is still illegal. When it turns up at your door, mine did anyway, it turned up without the throttle. So if you choose to attach that throttle and unlock the speed, that is totally up to you. Yeah? Just because you can doesn't mean you should. For that, I am barely pedaling and I'm hitting 15, almost 16 mile an hour. It's all about being sensible at the end of the day.
Okay, so let me take you through the menu. First of all, you press the up and down buttons together, okay, until you get to P1. Now, P1 is the backlight brightness. You can go up and down with that. I have it set to 3. Next, we got P2. P2 is the speed and mileage unit settings. So that is miles per hour, and that is kilometers per hour. So you can just up and down. That is it. Actually, you can just keep pressing up. So I've got it set to miles per hour. P3 is voltage level setting. We're at 48 volts. It's a 48 volt battery, so we leave that alone. P4 is the instrument automatic shutdown time setting, 1 to 60 seconds. So we'll just leave that as is. I'm not fussed about that. P5 is the gear level setting. So at the moment, as you know, we've got 3. You can change it to 5. You can change it, I believe you could change it up to 9 once you've unlocked it. But at the moment, I've got it set to 3. You've also got P6. P6 is the wheel diameter setting, minimum. So this says 22.0, but the thing is, the wheels are 20. But with the added size of the tyre, it takes it up to 22. So that's what they've got that set at. So again, I'm not going to touch that. All right, let's scroll back through. So where did we get up to? We got up to P6, didn't we? Okay, so P7. P7 is a magnetic steel number setting. Again, no idea. Not playing with that. P8, as you know, P8 is the speed limit setting of the e-bike in kilometers, 25. You can knock it all the way up. And remember, though, anything over 25, you are breaking the law. P9 is 0 start and non-zero start. So that is a non-zero start. That is a 0 start on the throttle. So on the throttle, if you pull the throttle on that, it will start on 0. If you have it on 1, it won't, and it'll only come into play if you're pedaling. We've also got P10. P10 is a drive mode setting, power drive, electric drive, power drive, electric drive, coexisting. At the moment, it's on 2. So that is power drive and electric drive, coexisting, if you like. Let's go back into it. P11 power assist sensitivity setting, 1 to 24. That's set on 2. Now, I've not changed that. That's how it came. You could play with that and change your power assist. P12 is the starting torque. Let's go back in there. P12 is the starting torque setting. The weakest is 0, 5 is the strongest. I've got it middle of the road on 3. P14, controller current limiting setting, controller support required. So again, not touching that. P14, controller current limiting setting. Oh no, sorry, P13 was power disc magnetic steel type setting. Not playing with that. That is the controller, P14. And P15, controller under voltage value, 40. So that's down to 40 for that. P16, ODO clear setting, restore factory setting. Press and hold the key up for 10 seconds to clear the ODO, and press and hold the down key for 10 seconds to restore to factory settings. Now, I don't want to do that, so I'm going to leave that as is. P16, P17, cruise control. That is disable cruise and enable cruise. At the moment, it's disabled, but you can put cruise control on it on P17. Not played with that. We'll have to play with that at some point in the next video. P18, display speed ratio adjustment. That's on 100%. And P19 is gear setting is 0. 0 contains 0, does not contain 0. I've no idea what that one is. Let's put that back on. There, P19, I don't know. I'm not playing with any of that stuff. I'm just going to leave that as is. And let's turn that light off. There we go. So there you are. That's a quick look at the controller settings. Really, the only thing you need to know about is P5, I believe. Yeah, P5, because that will change your gear level settings from 3 to 5. You've also got P9, which is your 0 start or non-zero start on the throttle, and P8, which is your speed limit. Those are the only 3 that you really need to know about, that you really should or maybe shouldn't play with. Everything else in there, I wouldn't touch.
So we're on some private land now. Was hoping to get on the disused runway that's here, but unfortunately it's being built on. But there you go, houses are being put up everywhere, aren't they, at the moment? Okay, so what we'll do is we'll go into the menu and we will go press the M button until we get to P8. Now that's 25 kilometers. That's your speed. That's your max speed. Now PVY on their very own website and YouTube videos are putting it up to 50. So I'm guessing you don't need to go any higher than that. Press the 2 buttons together, save it, boom, you're saved. Okay. Now, what you can also do, 2 buttons again. We want to scroll up until we get to PO9. That's your pedal assist on your throttle once you've unlocked your throttle. Knock it down to 0 and save that. That means it'll now, the throttle will work whether you're pedaling or not. From a standing start, it will start. Yeah. And your pedal assist numbers here should coincide with the speed that you're going. So we're going to start off in 1. Here we go, look. Yep. Now if we knock it up to 2. And then from there, 3. And we're away. We're going past 15, we're at 20. There we go. We just hit 20 mile an hour. As easy as that. 20 mile an hour. Easy as that. Try that again. And the only reason I stopped at 20 is because I ran out of runway. $20. Again, stop there. Nice. And that's all just from the throttle. There's no pedaling involved there. But remember, if you're going to unlock it and have the throttle and knock up the speed, it's totally illegal. You cannot use it on British roads. You can't, because of the laws at the moment. This comes in the box, as you saw. I had to fit it. You don't have to fit it. If you just want to do pedals, you can do pedals. And again, if you just want to do pedals, look, that will take you over the 15.5 mile an hour. And in fact, you should be able to get all the way up with enough room, 30 mile an hour. You should. $23. And I could have gone further. I could have gone faster. But sadly, I've run out of runway. There you go, 23 mile an hour. And that was without the throttle. That was just pure pedaling. And that was little to no effort. So yeah, very, very good. Right, let's do a quick brake test. Let's just get around this corner. I'll come round. We'll slam the brakes on. The hydraulic brakes. And we'll see what they're like. All right, here we go then. Do a quick brake test. $20 mile an hour. Are you ready? We'll stop on this line. That's not bad. So it wasn't this line. It was that line there that we stopped on. That's not bad. That's not bad. And that's going at 20 mile an hour. Yeah. That's all right, that. Right. So let's change that back. Because obviously I'm about to go back on the roads. So back up to 9. Change that. Save. And then again we'll change the speed. 8. Knock it back down to 25 kilometers. And save. There we go. Right. Let's head back out. Now, once you have your throttle attached and you change those settings on P9, obviously it won't start from a standing start. If you're moving and you pull the throttle, it will. Now, legally, a throttle is only allowed to do 4 kilometers an hour. Or is it 4 mile an hour? One or the other. I'll look into it and put it on the screen. But when your throttle is attached like this, and you're in pedal assist 1, that's all it will do. Like now, I've got the throttle fully open down here. And that's just a walking speed. That's perfect for down here. And I tell you, this full suspension is doing well on these bumps as well. This is nice. It's a comfy ride. Just would have been better if I was a better driver.
So something I just want to point out, my voltage is quite low there, 46.3 down from 48. My battery's down and I've only done 11 miles, but that's because I used this straight from the box. I didn't charge it up, I got it straight out, started using it, started riding it, done 11 miles on it, and that's why the volt has dropped and that's why the battery's dropped. I haven't actually started this on a fresh charge, so I'm going to take it back now and make sure it's charged up for the next lot of videos that I do.
Right, let's talk a little bit more about the bike while I do a few cycling montage shots. I'll hand you over to voiceover Aaron. Take it away, bud.
Okay, so as you know, this is the PVY Z20 PLUS electric folding bike. It is available in grey, khaki, orange and green. I've got the khaki version, although I think I would have liked the orange. Looks nice. It's an aluminium alloy with 20-inch wheels with a 4-inch diameter. Chunky little things they are. The recommended speed is 25 kilometers per hour, but you can unlock it to go a lot faster. It's not recommended though, because obviously that means you will be breaking the law. Totally up to you. The battery is a 48 volt, 16.5 amp hour battery, plenty big enough to power this beast. The motor boasts that it's 1000 watts brushless gear DC motor, but as you know, you're only allowed 250 watts on the UK roads. So luckily, even though this motor is capable of outputting 1000 watts, it is limited to 250. Torque is 80 newtons. The gear shift system is a Shimano 7-speed, very good. Now the sensor that it has is a cadence sensor. The difference between the cadence sensor and a torque sensor is that a torque sensor measures the force applied to the pedals, providing more assistance when the rider pedals harder. This can feel more natural and responsive. Whereas a cadence sensor measures the speed at which the pedals are turning, providing constant motor assistance regardless of how hard the rider pedals. It also has hydraulic disc brakes, which you need with a bicycle like this because the speed that you can get from this bike, you need something that's going to stop you. So there you go, you've got some lovely hydraulic disc brakes. The battery charger is 54.6 volts, 2 amps, so it charges it in around about 5 to 6 hours from flat. The range on it is 80 kilometers, but this obviously would be just on the throttle. The assistance area is 120 kilometers. It has full suspension, front suspension forks and rear mechanical shock absorber. The throttle is a half twist, but remember, to use it on UK roads would be illegal, so connect that and use it at your own peril. It has integrated rear lights with brake lights, and the payload is 150 kilograms, so it could easily take somebody that's around 23 stone. Luckily I come in well under that. Yes I do, you cheeky sod. The pedals on it do not fold up, even though it's a folding bike, but it doesn't really matter. The amount of space that you save by folding up the pedals is really neither here nor there, so it's not really that relevant. If it's going to go in the boot of your car, by folding up your pedals, you're not really going to be saving that much space, are you? And it has a waterproof rating of IPX5. So, it can take a bit of a splash, but it's not recommended that you take it out in bad weather. The bike weighs 33 kilograms. The package includes one electric bike, one rear shelf, 2 fenders, 1 bag of installation tools, a charger, a taillight, a user manual, and I got a phone holder as well, although it's not listed.
So you've seen the bike in action, let's have a little chat about some of the features on the bike. Starting at the front here, you've got your computer. That's easy to navigate. You've seen that, you've seen me using that. You've got your up and down buttons, you've got your menu button. You've also got here, you've got your headlight, you've got your horn, you've also got your indicators left and right. They show up really well in the dark. At the back there, you've got your brake light. It's absolutely brilliant. If anything's following you in the dark whilst you're out cycling, they're going to know which way you're going. It's quite good. You've also got your 7-speed Shimano Tawny gears. Now, it's the bottom of the range Shimano that are on these bikes, I've noticed, but it's still Shimano nonetheless. It's still a decent make. You've got collapsible stem for your handlebars because the bike is foldable. It's foldable from this clip here in the center. You unclip that, unfold it, folds in half, and then lower your head stem. Once you've done that, it takes a bit of a wrestle, but getting it into your boot Once it's in there, piece of cake. Takes a bit of practice to fold it up, but once you've done it once or twice, easy to do. Also up here on the front, you have your hydraulic brakes. There are other bikes out in this type of range that look similar to this, around about the same kind of price range, maybe a little bit more, but they haven't got hydraulic brakes. This one has. If you're doing these sorts of speeds on this bike, if you're unlocking it and doing 30 miles an hour, you're going to need to be able to stop, and that's where your hydraulic brakes come in. You've also got front suspension, no name on the forks, quite a generic one, but it is lockable if you don't want the front suspension. You've also got rear suspension. Again, there's no name on there. There is a PVY sticker on it, but I'm sure they're not the manufacturer of that suspension. You've got a good solid aluminium frame that houses your 48 volt battery. Takes 6 hours to charge. Same again, like I said earlier, 30p to charge it. Fantastic. You've got a chain guard at the front there by your pedals. Your pedals, like I said earlier, your pedals do not fold. But it's not an issue, is it? It's not a deal breaker. Do the pedals fold? Doesn't really matter. 50 kilogram you can take on the back here. 50 kilogram. The bike itself can take 150. That's 23 stone. You know, that's quite a heft, and then another 50 kilogram on the back. Brilliant. And metal mudguards. Absolutely fantastic. And this seat, we talk about this seat. Look at the size of it. Look how comfortable that seat is. I've had some bikes where you're sitting on it and you're at an angle like that. It's not good for your back. And the seat itself is like sitting on a razor blade. It's not very comfy. This one, look at it. That's lovely. That is a joy to sit on. Doing long journeys on this seat can be absolutely fantastic. Now I'm 5'10", and I've got this seat almost as low as it'll go. 5'10". I'm on there. I'm tippy-toe to the ground. But that's perfect for me. That's perfect. I don't need this any higher. And look at this, the sitting position. I'm upright. My back is straight. See the road. I can see everything in front of me. It's perfect. I'm not hunched over, you know, getting a bad back. Don't forget the kickstand as well. There we go. That is the PVY Z20 PLUS e-bike. It boasts 1,000 watts in this rear motor, but it is limited at the moment to 250, as it says here on the chassis, on the frame. But what a bike. I'm hopefully going to be taking this out off-road, over some fields, over some hills, and we'll test it on that. But for now, would I recommend this? Yes, definitely. I definitely recommend this. This is a great bike, and especially as, if you use the links below, you can get 10% off this. So I'll put the price, the current price on screen. You can see what it's going for at the moment. Take another, what, £100 off that? Yeah, this is a fantastic bike. Like I say, 30p to get to and from work for the week, as opposed to what it would cost you in petrol or on the train or on the bus. Provided you live close enough, obviously. You wouldn't want to be doing 50 miles every day on this. So that's fantastic. If you are looking at buying this, like I say, there are links down in the description. Go check them out. Go check out the Gleeride website. Have a look at some of the other bikes on there as well. This one, it currently is on offer at the point of making this video. So get it while it's on offer if you can. It's a good, solid bike. If you look after your battery, you only charge it when you need to. I'd let your battery get down to 1 bar before you look at charging it. Don't charge it every evening after it's lost 1 bar or whatever, because that is how you damage your battery. You want to prolong your battery life, get it lower, let it wear out a little bit, get it down to maybe 1 bar, then stick it on charge. Don't let it go completely flat, because that could damage it if you keep doing that. As long as you look after your battery, that will last you a good few years. The whole bike will. It's a cracking bike. I really like it. Like I say, I'm going to be taking it to the beach. I'm going to be taking it off-road. I'm going to be using it in my detecting videos. You're going to see more of it. Yeah, it's a great bike. I want to thank the people at Gleeride for sending it to me for the point of this. And yeah, everything I've said in this video has all been my opinion. Not theirs, it's mine. This is what I've said, this is what I've seen. The only things I don't like on this is that if you don't use the throttle and you unplug the throttle from here, unplug it and take it off, you've got an empty connector there, which is exposed to the elements. I would have liked there to be like a little cap in the box, a little cover that you could slide over that to keep water out, just on the off chance that the laws change and you can use the throttle and you want to put it on at a later date. I would have liked a little cap to protect that. That would have been perfect. And the key placement underneath here. You can lock your battery so that when you turn off your motor or turn off your bike, take your key out, that battery ain't going anywhere. That battery's staying there. Nobody's taking that out. Nobody's nicking that. And nobody's starting it without the key. I just would have liked the key placement to have been somewhere else. Somewhere where, like now, there we go, a bit easier to get to. So that's all. That's the only things I don't like about the bike. Where the key placement is and having a cap to cover that. If we'd have had that, I'd say it'd be damn near perfect. If you're new to the channel, why not think about liking and subscribing? If you're heading out, good luck, happy hunting, stay safe. Cheers. Ta-da.